we're making a beautiful white veggie spring lasagna, whatever you want to call it, that is so sensational. You will love it, and it would be a perfect addition to your Easter table. If your family is anything like mine, we always do like some kind of pasta dish, some kind of roast, and then lots of different veggies and breads and things like that. And I think this would be fantastic. I'm sure I've shared with you a version of this in the past, but we've been here 15 years. Bear with me. I don't even know what I posted half the time. But this is delicious. We're going to start with the filling, which is simple, easy. It's all the right things, starting off with some extra virgin olive oil in a large skillet. To that, I'm going to add a shallot because it's just a bit milder than an onion. You could also use spring baby leeks if you can find them. My grocery store loves to play games with me. Sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. This time, they didn't have them. I also have some fresh peas here. You know, this is the season. We've got asparagus and we've got baby zucchini. If you can't find baby zucchini, of course, just go ahead and use one regular zucchini. If you can't find fresh baby peas, use frozen peas. No one cares. No one's gonna come over and be like, you know what? I'm really mad because you don't have baby zucchini. Also, you can do one of two things. You can do what I'm doing and use a box of a box of frozen chopped spinach thawed, or you could use a couple of bags of fresh spinach. It's up to you, but the fresh spinach is gonna run you 3 times the price. And the frozen spinach is one of the best things you can get at the grocery store. Best bang for your buck. I'm just slicing the zucchini nice and thin and, well, into little coins. Not even super thin, but just into little coins. And I'm going to do the same thing with the asparagus. I'm just going to give them a little dicey dice. Shallot is lovely and fragrant. I'm going to add in my zucchini. And I'm also just going to give my asparagus just like a little choppy chop. And they can go in at the same time because we're kind of going to cook them to the same time. Just in a few minutes. I already trimmed my asparagus, so the ends were already trimmed. The peas just need a few minutes at the end. Good to go, easy peasy. We'll make a really lovely bechamel. We'll layer it with some, I'm so sorry. Hello. We will layer it with cheeses, and we're gonna do no boil lasagna noodles, which do not revoke my Italian card for that, okay? Please. They're one of the best inventions in the food world, okay? If I don't have to boil my lasagna noodles, I'm not gonna. However, if I were making traditional nonna lasagna, I would always go for my regular noodles. With the little ripples in the edges, you know what I mean? That just feels right. Add a pinch of salt to that. I'm gonna let these go for about, I'd say 5-6 minutes. And then we'll add our peas right in. These look great. Now remember, the zucchini and the asparagus only need a couple of minutes and they get really tender. Add the peas right in. The peas just need to cook like a couple of minutes. You want to keep that color. You want to keep that deliciousness. While those do their thing, I'm also going to add another pinch of salt because, you know, that's important because you want to season every layer of your dish. I'm going to chop lots of fresh parsley and basil. Even though there's a lot of green and you have a lot of freshness, I think the power of fresh herbs is something we have to remember every time we cook because they bring such a lovely note. They like bring freshness and they can bring depth and they can bring like a whole other level of flavor, really. That just makes everything so delicious. There's very rarely an occasion where I'm not adding a ton of herbs to something because it makes whatever you are cooking so much better. Peas have cooked long enough. We're going to go in with our frozen chopped spinach that I have thawed and rinsed out of any excess moisture. And that doesn't need to be cooked. I just like to mix it all together and just warm it through. And I'm just going to add my herbs just like that. Perhaps another little pinch of salt, you know, for the spinach. But you see how small my pinches are? Because I don't want to overdo it, obviously. But at the same time, you want to make sure that this and your bechamel are actually well salted because you're not boiling your pasta in boiling salted water. So you want to make sure there's enough salt that the pasta is it gonna be bland, you know? This is great. It's green, luscious, gorgeous, exactly how I like it. I'm gonna set this aside. I need nothing from this right now, and I'm gonna move on to making the bechamel, which is so simple, so easy, you'll love it. To make the bechamel is super straightforward. You can do this with your eyes shut. All you need to remember is equal parts to butter and flour. That's your thickener, that's your roux. And you wanna make sure that you're cooking that roux so that there are no raw bits of flour. And if you see any green specks, it's because I used my wooden spoon that I stirred my vegetables with. I like to call it extra flavor. Also, you don't wash my dishes. So there's that. Cook all of that for about a minute. And then you're gonna add some milk. And that is your white sauce. I mean, that's your bechamel. That's your basic base for your cream sauce. So I'm just gonna cook this and babysit it. I am gonna heavily, not heavily, but well salt it and pepper it, because remember, we don't have another chance to season the pasta. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cook this until it thickens. I also have a pinch of nutmeg here, so when it's nice and thick, I'm gonna add the nutmeg. Not while it's starting to thicken, I'll add the nutmeg in, and that's pretty much it. And then we have to just get our component, which we can do right now, because you know what, we're friends like that. The ricotta is very simple. You need your ricotta, fresh ricotta preferably, but you know, any good quality ricotta will work. An egg as a binder, salt, pep, okay, that needs more peppercorns, running on empty. Mix that together, and the egg is just a really nice binder. It means that your ricotta will actually hold better as it's baking. Mix it together, set it aside. So now we have the ricotta filling done, the mozzarella, which to me, the best mozzarella to really use here is going to be what I call low moisture mozzarella. You know, the kind that is like a little square in your grocery store, and it's vacuum sealed. That's what you want. And the reason why I find that this works best, make sure you shred it yourself, is because it's going to give you a fantastic cheese pull. It's nice and salty, and it's not watery, which means it will not water down your final dish. So that's my preferred mozz, but you can certainly use you know, like a log of fresh mozzarella. You just might have a bit of water loose in your pan. But once we have this ready, then we are going to be ready to assemble. That looks fantastic. I'm going to add in my pinch of nutmeg. I'm actually going to add in a bit more salt because I tasted it and it definitely needed a touch more salt. Nice and glorious. The nutmeg is necessary. It like brings it to life. It's hard to describe. That is so delicious. Okay, turning that off. We are ready to assemble. You've got your bechamel, you've got your cheeses, you've got your greens, just getting a big spoon here. This is the equivalent of a 9x13. These are the noodles that I'm using. These are no boil lasagna noodles, and this is all you do. Wait, I almost got ahead of myself. I need just the tiniest little bit of my bechamel to line the bottom, just a little. I also made sure to grease my pan. This is really gorgeous. I hope that you get a chance to make it. You can also make it for any occasion. I'm gonna take 4, and I'm just gonna overlap them ever so lightly. See, just a little bit. Just a tiny bit like that. And then you're gonna put on a good layer of your sauce, because remember, it needs it because it needs that moisture for the pasta itself to cook. And then I'm gonna come in here. You can do half ricotta, half the thing, whatever your heart desires, it's up to you. I'm gonna do half the filling. I'm gonna move things around because, you know, it's important that you see what I'm doing, you know. I'm gonna take half of this filling. I'm gonna just scatter it all over. Half the ricotta. 1/3 of the mozz. And everything will be detailed for you in the written recipe portion. Grating of Parm. And you're gonna repeat this exact layer one more time. See how I overlap them just slightly? I didn't do it on the bottom layer, but because I forgot. But don't forget, you're gonna take another piece and just break it up. You wanna make sure it's corner to corner. You've got that pasta. Okay? And now we just repeat the rest of your filling. All right, now we're gonna go in with our last layer, which is just gonna be lasagna noodles. So same thing, you'll need about 5, like that, and just take one. Oh, look at that, I did it! I never do it. I never can get a clean cut like that, ever. Oh, that's so exciting. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with that. That never happens. And at this point, you just need the remaining sauce. Okay, I'm just gonna switch to a spatula actually, just to get it out of the pan, because it's hard to do it with the wooden spoon. Can't believe I cut that in half so perfectly. So proud of myself. So proud. Get it all out. Smooth it over your pasta. Make sure it's coating the pasta. The remaining mozz. Trust me, this is gonna be gorgeous. And then a lot of Parm. This is gonna go into a preheated oven, 375. I'm gonna cover it with aluminum foil. I almost said plastic wrap. Please don't use plastic wrap. I'm gonna cover it with aluminum foil. This is gonna go in covered for 45 minutes. Then I'm gonna take the lid off, the foil off, and pop it in there for another 15 to 20 or until it's golden and bubbly and gorgeous. And then you need to let it set for an hour. I know, but that's how it is with all lasagnas. They need to set, then we'll cut into it. My lasagna was in the oven for 45 minutes covered, and then it actually took closer to 30 minutes uncovered to get that beautiful golden brown color. When it comes out, it needs to rest for about an hour. It's still hot on this inside and underneath, but you want it to set. And the thing about lasagna is that's just what it needs. I mean, you can't really get around that. Otherwise, it's just like an oozy mess when you go to cut into it. Now, you know the first slice is always tough. It's kind of like the first pancake or the first slice of pie. But if I did this well, which, you know, honestly, it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It is just, look at how nicely it holds. There's no oozing. There's no stuff running all over the place. Okay, there isn't. It is beautiful. I did lose a little zucchini. But look at this. Look at that. Sauciness. It's still steaming, so it's hot. Got your veg. You got your cheese. I'm just gonna make a mess. Because that's just what I do, okay? I want that cheesy crust on the top. So I'm gonna make a mess, but it's really fine. You will forgive me. It is so good. It is truly incredible. It is so delicious. I want you to make it. You have to promise me that you will make this. It's delicious. It's creamy. It's got so much flavor from those vegetables. It's kind of crazy. It's got that perfect crust from the cheesiness. It's sensational. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. Hopefully you enjoy spending time with me. I will see you in the next one.